Hello, I'm Laura. It is Thursday, June 26th, 2025, and this is today's Heartlines. It is good to be with you again after an unexpected 2-week break. Have you ever had a breakdown in life? Well, I did 2 weeks ago when my computer heated up and died, complete with the hard drive. Last week, I was in a convention, so I did not have the time to regroup technically so I could keep bringing you these Heartlines. But I am blessed with a wonderful husband who worked at getting me a new computer and transferring the information that he could over to the new computer and getting the programs restarted. In the meantime, I missed a few holidays and important headlines. I missed Flag Day, in which the Trump administration held a parade in contrast to a protest, one of the largest protests for freedom and democracy in our country. I missed Father's Day, in which fathers were honorably recognized for their role in our lives. I missed Juneteenth, one of our country's most important holidays here in the USA, in which the people of Galveston, Texas, who had been enslaved, finally got the word they were emancipated. I missed the summer solstice, a time of recognizing the cycles of life and how we naturally can move from one season to the next. I miss Jean-Baptiste Day in Canada, the celebration of the French-Canadian culture. But here I am today, recognizing also the headlines that have been happening in our world. A war between Israel and Iran, and our own administration's order to bomb the nuclear facilities in Iran and to negotiate with leaders of NATO and Israel and Iran to work on a very fragile ceasefire. So our prayers continue in that direction for peace. In fact, with all that is going on in our world, including an affirmation from our Supreme Court for the Trump administration to start swift removals of immigrants once again without due process, there's so much that can stir us up and get us moving and make us wonder what kind of a world we live in when it comes to our humanity. And in the face of this, and in the face of life's breakdowns, perhaps it is time to rest, reassess, renew, and rebuild. We can rest in the peace of God. We can reassess our lives and world, tapping into the divine wisdom that is in our own hearts. We can renew ourselves by honoring our bodies as the temple of God, feeding them well and giving them plenty of rest. And we can rebuild our lives by using building blocks of actions that come from loving kindness. So, we are going to begin doing this in a time of silent prayer by taking a deep breath and closing our eyes and holding in our hearts these prayerful statements. I rest in the peace of God. I reassess my life and world with divine wisdom as my guide. I renew myself by honoring my body as the temple of the living God, and I rebuild my life and work with actions of loving kindness. I rest in the peace of God. I reassess my life and world with divine wisdom as my guide. I renew myself by honoring my body as the temple of the living God, and I rebuild my life and work with actions of loving kindness. And so it is. You know, I don't think there is a time on the yearly calendar, except for the Christmas holidays into the new year, when there are more holidays and more headlines to look at than we have experienced in the past 2 weeks. And I must admit to some frustration at not being able to share those with you on a day-to-day basis. But I also took the time with this breakdown in my life to rest, reassess, renew, and rebuild. And I hope you are doing the same with the breakdowns of your life, because you will find that life keeps going, that there will always be things to share and to talk about, and that we will always have each other in sharing them. Thank you for being with me today for what is a new beginning with today's Heartlines. Have a wonderful day.